Yeah, okay, so we've got the Zed coming through. He was nerfed a couple of patches ago. They sort of reduced the size of his shuriken width, which meant he was a little bit harder to auto cast your combo, basically. One of the things that Zed could do was basically press his fourth ability, his ultimate, then just press the rest of his abilities, and they would all auto hit because they were quite a large range. But now you can't do that. Now it's a little bit difficult. You actually have to aim some of your skills. You actually have to aim D2.
I was wondering, that I feel attacked right now. I was trying him, like, I think it was like a week or a week and a half ago when he was free to play. I was like, why isn't this as easy? It seems when the other team does it against me, and I guess that's the reason why. I was like, why can't I just press button and get the full combo? Anyway, Alliance is invading the jungle right now. Let's see if they can pull this off and get one of the buffs on their side. Although they're Jarvan themselves. Oh wait, the Jarvan is silent Jarvan. Okay. Sorry, I was confused.
It's Baron and Jarvan. This is Braum is an extremely strong level 1 champion because he sets up for stuns with the basic attack. He has the slow as well. Like Braum is one of the strongest level 1 champions in the game because of what his kit offers at level 1. So I don't blame them for going for the invade here. Lee Sin also super strong at level 1. He has that execute ability with his Wait, what on earth am I looking at here?
They switched the Jhin.
They swapped lanes. So so actually it is Alliance that initiated the lane swap here. So Alliance actually went for a lane swap with the Tristana. Now, I guess the reasoning behind the Tristana pick is because she's incredibly quick at taking turrets. You can use her explosive shot on the turrets. And that means essentially you can sort of force early turret plates. So I would guess that this is the reason for doing so. They also maybe wanted to take the Gragas out of a matchup where he's going to get a load of free gold. And also, you've got to be aware that Jhin as a solo laner is actually susceptible to dying to the Jarvan. So one of the things that you'll have to be aware of is Jarvan's got great... I'm going to sneeze. I'm sorry, D2.
That's perfectly fine. But while you do sneeze, we need to point out that the Lee Sin actually went down to the Zed here as he was trying to invade the jungle. So First Blood does go over to DR once again, and well played by that Zed, perhaps breaking him for that reason to counter that Lee Sin.
Well, I wouldn't say the Zed's like a particular counter to Lee Sin. I just think that Lee Sin
not a counter.
I just think that the Lee Sin went for like a pretty interesting invade. Like I probably wouldn't have made the same play myself if I were him. It looks like maybe Alistair is overstepped though.
Yeah, he is overstepped. He does get he allows for the kill onto the Orianna before he does go down though. So not the worst trade in the world. Alliance is going to go ahead and take this Rift Color to get the vision onto the Baron side of the map. See anyone potentially rotating over, especially because they have two of the members here up in the top side. But Lee Sin's getting aggressive once again. You can see that on your mini map. Just giving a little hard stare over to the Wukong, who is backing back to base.
I know it's really tempting, especially because Wukong's clear speed has been slightly reduced in the most recent patch that we've had. So I know it's really tempting as a Lee Sin to just try and get into the enemy jungle, punish a jungler who will sort of be dropping low in HP compared to a lot of other junglers in the meta. But you've got to be aware of where your lanes are. Like you've got to be aware of like where your Orianna is, if Zed's easily able to roam. So you just can't invade like completely randomly. You just have to be a little bit more cautious about the way you choose to invade. Looks like we are going to get a swap back now. The Tristana lane, because of the Alistair rotate up, the Tristana wasn't really able to get a huge amount of damage done to that top lane tower. And we're going to actually see the rotate come through for what I assume is going to be setting up for Dragon in the next minute.
Yeah, Dragon coming up fairly soon there, as you can see on your mini-map. Looks like there was a bit of pressure being put onto that mid lane, which allowed for Orianna to be taken out once again. So DR extending their lead here 3-1. Perhaps that will allow them to take the Dragon, or perhaps will allow them to kind of rotate and maybe get a tower, get another kill for their side. But DR getting to an early lead in this game once again. And it'll be up to Lions to try to mount the comeback, even though it's still early in the game.
I'm interested in this Orianna if she can hold the Zed, because if Zed can continue to snowball with his ultimate in the mid lane, then I'm a little worried for the outcome of this game. I'm also interested into the Tristana pick. The Tristana is not, I wouldn't say a lot of people consider Tristana an extremely high tier AD carry right now. She has a really, really poor mid game. She kind of feels like she lacks a lot of damage. Her all-in lane isn't particularly strong, but she does scale well. Ooh. So I'm guessing that maybe the Alliance are looking for another one of those situations where they're looking to scale up. That's a nice Brawl shield into the Jhin ultimate here.
Yeah, the Jin ultimate did come out, but there was a knock up earlier by the Alistair and a knock back from the Gragas. But it looks like Jin is going to go down in the end. Multiple members here from Alliance are extremely low, and I bet that everyone from DR is going to want to get in here. It looks like they are going to be on the chase and potentially taking this Drake, because I know that Alliance has to back out for the moment here. Oh my goodness, the Zed does come in and finishes off the Brawl. That's going to be less shielding for the rest of his team as they're going to go ahead and jump on the Lee Sin as well. That's 2 members down here for Alliance, and that means that a potential Drake take is in play here for DR. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I actually think the Lee Sin queued a minion. I'm trying to think about where Lee Sin threw his Sonic Wave when he was trying to get onto the Zed there. He definitely didn't throw it at the Zed, that's for sure, because Zed probably would have been able to drop in that situation. But nonetheless, a good play by DR. They played that a very careful team fight. Yes, they lost the gym, but the rest of their team were just playing around the dragon, managing the aggro of the dragon, and making sure that they were able to sort of find an entrance to that team fight that was successful. Again, this is why I'm questioning. Like, I don't think MF and Lulu were banned. I was told that it was the same bans as previous, and I really feel like that's a really strong team fight to work with. It's going to be the Gragas though. He will drop. Great little gank from Alliance. This might allow them to get this turret in the top lane.
Yeah, really well done by Alliance here. Just easy as you like, just waltzed over. Like, Gragas, I think I would prefer that you're dead right now. That said, if you look on your mini map, the bottom side of the map, the Jarvan does get taken out as the counter gank is put into play here. They're going to be trying to take out that turret. Can Orianna get there in time?
Oh, that's so low.
Oh my goodness. They try to jump on the Wukong here, but he definitely puts out his clone, is able to get away so that the Lee Sin cannot teleport over to him. The Riptail does spawn. Lion's going to jump on it right away here as a ward comes out. So DR definitely knows that it's here. It's going to be jump onto the Brawl by the Wukong, but he's extremely low, gets ignited, has to get out of there. A big shot comes out of the Gragas to knock everyone back. Lee Sin's going to go ahead and jump in once more, and that is going to be potentially a dead cow, but Zed wants to change things here, takes out the Tristana, and it is already 2 down here for Alliance, and can they continue this fight here? The Alice is extremely low. Out comes the curtain call from the Jin, trying to get more damage out here, and even more members will fall as Orianna does go down. Braum just feels bad as he cannot help his team. They're going to back off, and the lead extends here for DR.
Yeah, I think that fight was a good setup for Alliance. They actually had the initial engage that was working out well for them. They obviously had a very low Zed and a very low Jin on the top bottom side of the map, but Orianna was slow to rotate. She was so slow to rotate. Had Orianna been at the start of the fight, I think this would have been a different game entirely. But I think the slow rotation coming out from the mid laner from Alliance meant that they would lose that fight pretty handily. And again, Orianna being one of the main driving factors behind Alliance's success in the previous game. It's not looking good for Alliance so far. Then again, it wasn't looking good in the early game for them previously. So, if I was to really focus a point that Alliance can potentially improve on, it has to be their early game right now. They are giving up and bleeding lots of objectives and gold at this stage in the game when they really potentially don't need to be.
Yeah, as you say, okay, there's going to be an engage here coming from Alliance. Big shots coming out from them, trying to take out multiple members. But as Alistair gets low, he's able to pop them back. And that means 3 gold. Excuse me, it was 2 went down in that fight. It was the Tristana and the Lee Sin. Earlier, we saw the Zed off stream take out the Orianna. That's what I was oohing about, saying it's just very painful to see the Orianna, the one who got them back in the earlier game, to get taken out. But in that engage, even though they were the ones to engage, they lost 2 more there, and 2 more towers go down for Alliance.
DR are running this game over right now. Especially with the Zed this fed, like, you can't keep that Tristana alive. There's no way that you keep that Tristana alive in team fights. You just don't have enough shielding. You don't have enough protection for her. Like, this is if you had a Lulu, it might be a different story, because you just polymorph the Zed when he jumps on your AD carry and he just can't cast any of his skills, and you sort of buy enough time for your AD carry to reposition and get out. But right now, I don't see a way that Tristana stays alive in these team fights. I think this is going to be a very tough comeback here for Alliance if they want to beat back DR. But DR are just absolutely in the driving seat right now with the next dragon spawning in 10 seconds. I really feel like, unfortunately, Alliance are going to have to give that one up.
Yeah, they just seem so uncomfortable referring to Alliance, of course. Yeah, the Rift Herald gets spawned in this mid lane. Excuse me, potentially to take the dragon. You can see on your minimap that Alistair's just kind of hanging out in the Alliance jungle, as the Mountain Dragon does go over to this side of DR. Looks like they're going to be jumping onto the Orianna. She barely gets away with her life under her turret, but the aggression continues here from DR. Obviously, Jarvan pushing that top lane in the minimap, as you can see, but little to nothing other than that done here for Alliance.
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to figure out where it went wrong for Alliance this game.
You know what? Really I was about to say. I was about to say that like Glaze just looks extremely uncomfortable here, right? He seems like he's running away from fights as Braum, even though he could be that meat shield that they need. It seems like he was just too comfortable playing Lulu, and now he's kind of lost his place. Uh-oh, the engage comes from behind here. The Wukong trying to get on top of them. The Baron, as you can see, has spawned, but they're going to be pushing in on to them. No, they're going to go ahead and back off. As you can see, Zed going to go ahead and back off in that bottom lane as well. Are they going to jump the Zed? Zed gets ulted back. You can see on the mini map there, he gets ulted back. He actually does go down. So he gets the return kill on the Orianna. Oh boy.
Yeah, that's Zed for you. That makes you see so fed. I mean, Zed can just split push in the side lane. No one can 1v1 him at this stage in the game. They're actually going for Baron. Oh, this is going to be an interesting one.
Oh, that's really close, but it does go over to DR in the end. They're able to scrape it out, and they do get the kill onto the Gragas. Alistair is running for his life, but they're going to get almost everyone out of there. Just one kill goes down, and they get the Baron. Can they get this turret, though? Looks like they're pushing in onto him. The enhanced minions from the Baron aren't going to be enough to stop that, but it's just a consolation prize here, X.
Yeah, again, like DR just clinical in the way that they're executing on these objectives right now. And again, the Tristana pick, like, I'm not convinced it's a high tier AD carry. And I think one of the reasons that they found success late last time is they had like the Misfortune, who was able to sort of be aggressive in the early game and shut down the Jhin. The Lulu, which was super strong at kind of like reinforcing the power of There's no way you can side lane versus a Zed who's this fed. It's impossible.
Yeah, speaking of impossible, they're gonna try to go for this team fight. The ult comes out from the Braum, but doesn't get a whole lot done. There absolutely is no follow-up. Perhaps, maybe force the ult here from the Jhin, but nothing going to be done after that. And the turret goes down. The mid turret looks like it's going to fall soon after. Are DR going to go for these inhibitor turrets? They are kind of, threatening it for a moment here. Wukong does go in, leaves behind his cologne, going to get extremely low, has to back off in the end. Zed pushes up in that top turret, but looks like DR is going to go ahead and back off.
Yeah, maybe not confident enough to siege fully onto this mid lane, or whether they're still coming with another minion wave though.
Yeah, doing a little bit here, but they don't get the turrets in the end.
It's a little difficult, especially if this is a Braum. Unbreakable makes it quite difficult to push onto the towers. So, I don't blame DR for playing a bit safer in this scenario. But the Infernal Dragon spawning soon. That's going to be another point of contention, but I just don't really feel like Alliance are in a strong enough spot to be able to contest these neutral objectives right now. I think Alliance's game plan at this point in time is get Tristana. Well, the thing is, she needs another 2 items to be really, really strong in this game, and she's only got 2 at this point in time as well. So Tristana needs a bunch more gold before she is remotely relevant. I haven't really seen the combo work out. Like, this is another combo that Alliance have got. It's the Jarvan Orianna. It's a pretty tried and tested combo. We call it the Death Bowl. Like, Jarvan jumps in, Cataclysm forms the bowl. Orianna just uses the shockwave on top of him. It's like a death bowl. That's
literal death bowl.
A literal death bowl. That's what we call the combination. But just haven't seen it work. I haven't even really seen Alliance form a cohesive team fight at this stage of the game. It always feels like they've been a bit disjointed, or I haven't really found the chance to make it work. I think Lee went for a cheeky attempt at a steal there, but looks like it was just a clever play from DR to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, I was about to say, speaking of disjointed, they were just kind of running around with their heads cut off like chickens. And easy take here from the side of DR. Looks like the Baron's going to be spawning in a moment. That may be the next point of contention for these two teams. As
the only thing that I think the Alliance have got going for them, if they can delay it long enough, is their armor is super effective this game. Like there is only one AP source, there's only one magic damage source on DR, and that's Gragas, and he's like he's got
not
finite burst. Yeah, like he's not like an Orianna who's going to consistently deal damage to you throughout a team fight. Gragas has got a finite amount of burst, and against the tankier targets, it'll mean less, right? So armor is going to reduce damage from Wukong, Zed, Jin, and those are like major sources of damage right now. So this is where armor is going to get like 10 times the effectiveness in this team comp.
Yeah, but as you say that, oh my goodness, the Lee Sin gets so low, saved by the Braum in the end, but tried to make it happen by himself. Not really sure if he was forced out of position potentially by the Grog as well. Maybe we'll see it in the replay in the future, but the Baron's going to be trying to be taken here. The ult comes out for Braum. This is their last ditch attempt. Lots of damage going on to the Gragas. Can he get away? The flash comes out from Tristana. He's going to be able to take them out. First blood of this team fight does go over to Lions. Can they make this happen? The Orianna does go down on the sides. A huge source of damage for them. Could be tough for them going forward. The Braum actually in the front lines for the first time as we see the revive comes out here as the least, or excuse me, not the least, in the Wukong has his GA popped. He's going to go back into the fight. The Jarvan does get taken down by the Zed in the end, but they are pushing on to the Nexus. They have to back here to deal with the Zed in the situation, and the kill comes from support onto support. It's support on support crime as the Braum does go down. What's going to go on here between the Lee Sin and the Zed? The teleport away to get away from the punch so he doesn't teleport over, and in the end, it's just going to be, I think it was like a 4v4. I'm not really sure. People have come back. The fight lasted way too long. X, tell me what happened here.
I think it was actually a massive advantage for DR. They essentially won a 4 versus 5 with the Zed split pushing in the side lanes, and they're going to lose 2 inhibitor turrets out of it, and the Baron is still up and available to take. It was a good attempt. Like clearly you can see that Tristana eventually in the late game starts to become a damage threat. She can chase people down, but too little too late, honestly, for Alliance. Their early game needs some serious amendments if they want to compete with the best in this tournament, there, because they gave up way too much to DR, and DR have looked clean AF in this game. Like they really have. There's been a couple of team fights where it's been a bit shaky, but specifically the way they're playing around the Zed, DR are not here to mess around. They want to take this series.
Yeah, exactly. You saw that Tristana take out the Gragas, but that was with 2 chasing him. The only reason why he didn't turn was because 2 were chasing him, right? And then that left a 3v3 in the rest of the team fight, and obviously DR had the gold advantage there. You see that DR have already taken the Baron, and as you mentioned before, there's only 1 inhibitor turret left. The Nexus itself is pretty bruised, so this looks like the beginning of the end. It's going to take an absolute miracle from Alliance here. We'll see if they're able to do it.
It really would be a miracle. Absolutely the case. I'm not entirely convinced that it can happen, especially because Zed is still super strong, still able to split push in the side lane with the Baron, making it even worse. I'm wondering whether DR are just taking the super safe route at this point in time and just gearing up for a potential Elder Dragon. It looks like with Zed appearing on the top side of the map, which is the side of the map which is furthest away from Dragon, clearly, he's looking to apply pressure to draw people over there to give at least a DR an easy way to take this Elder Dragon without without being contested a huge amount either. So yeah, it looks like that's what's being geared up for here. It does look like DR are going to take the very safe painting by numbers route. They don't want to take any risks. They want to get this game in the bag. Zed's going to continue to appear on that top side of the map. He's going to threaten the 3rd inhibitor, and to be completely honest with you, it doesn't matter how your game's going. It doesn't matter if you're starting to win team fights. If you lose all 3 inhibitors, I have never seen a game come back from that ever in this game. It's too hard to get out of your base.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like the ult's going to come out here from Braum to try to do a last-ditch attempt to get at this, but the sensor comes out. That means they don't have any vision. Here comes the Alistair to try to get the damage onto the Braum. They're going to be able to knock him down. The GA gets popped on the Lee Sin, and he promptly falls. Flash comes out from Braum, but I doubt he's going to be able to get away. There is the finishing touches onto him, and even the Zed is running unabated in that top lane. This is going to be the end. What a beautiful game here for DR, putting the last finishing touches on it. Tristana goes down. They are pushing into the fountain of all places. That is all members down. That is all of Alliance down. That is a 2-1 here for DR.
Yeah, great game from them. Clinical. They really utilized the fact they put their Zed ahead. They had Zed in the side lane constantly. And once Zed gets into this position, it is impossible to 1v1 him. Like, no one in the game can really out 1v1 a Zed. Maybe a well-placed wind ball from a Yasuo can sometimes do it, for instance. But Zed is a menace in the side lane if you get him this much gold. And obviously you can see from the damage graphs what kind of impact he had.